Our speakers joining us on this panel are Krishna G, Country Head Solution Architecture, Systems India, and Satish Chandran R, President and Global Head, Suntec Business Solutions. Please give them a big round of applause. Also joining them on the panel is Krishnan PP, Chief Delivery Officer, Tavant, and this panel discussion will be moderated by Narendra Bhandari, angel investor and a member of the NASSCOM Product Council. Please give them a big round of applause as we welcome them to this session. I'd like to hand the mic over to Narendra.
Wow, these lights are blinding. All right, good afternoon. We've been hearing all morning about how we get to deeper tech, and the economy needs to grow significantly from a deep tech perspective. We've heard perspectives around GTM. We've heard perspectives around capability, talent, funding. I thought Shekhar's session, I don't know how many of you sat in Shekhar's session this morning, was just phenomenal on being pixel perfect. What we're going to do here is continue those discussions and talk to three individuals. One represents a product company which has been around for over 2 decades, and I'll let you guys guess who that is. One represents a company which has balanced out services and grown into the product space with a reasonable chunk of product revenue. And the third represents a company which is going to help you build products at a much more accelerated pace, right? So I'll just leave it at that, and I'll request my panelists to do their introductions, and then you'll start to connect the dots of what I mean by those three constituents. But it's important to understand each of them bring a perspective to you which is going to help you, build your products better and accelerate in that product journey, from their sort of wealth of experience, right? So Satish, if I may request you to sort of start off and just give a background about your company, and then we'll get to the round of questions, please.
Thank you. Hope I am audible.
Closer.
I'm Satish Chandran.
Try that, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Satish Chandran. I'm President at Suntec Business Solutions.
Satish, closer to your...
Yeah. We at Suntec have been in this business, in the product business, for more than 30 years now. We started in the telco sector way back in 1990 and moved on to different verticals. Now we are very strong in BFSI. We also have sold our product to logistics, travel, etc. So we also have continuously evolved our product over the last 30 years. I've been with Suntec for the last 20 years, doing various roles, starting with product development, product management, solutioning, implementation, account management, pre-sales consulting, etc. Today, I'm responsible for product management and delivering our product to our customers. So we have more than 150 customers across different geographies using our product in various sectors today. And we are still evolving our product. We have a strong roadmap, both functionally and technologically, and we continue to be focused on our product.
Awesome, thank you. Love those words, evolving, right? So product never is done, right? Just keep pushing forward, right? Awesome. Krishnan, I'll request you to just do a quick introduction of Tavant, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the growth journey.
Sure, thanks, Narendra. So Tavant was set up in the year 2000. So we've been in business for over 22 years. We are headquartered in the US, but we have development centers pretty much all over the world. I mean, there are multiple of them in India, and then we go all the way from Colombia, US, couple of centers in Europe, in UK and Netherlands. Then we have in Japan, Australia, etc. So we are well distributed globally. Tavant started with providing solutions and services for fintech companies in the lending space as well as the manufacturing space. And over a period of time, we have extended our footprint in other domains, media, entertainment, gaming, retail, etc. And there's a set of horizontal and vertical services we offer. What is interesting is in two specific areas, right, which is manufacturing, in the warranty space and the service lifecycle management space, and in the lending area, we have products. And when we approach customers in these areas, we approach with, it's a combination of product and services, which enables us to bring a sort of what we call the flywheel effect, right? Because every product has an ecosystem which needs to be in such a way that it actually works seamlessly with the product, and we are able to provide that service as well to our customers when we implement the product.
Great, thanks. So, quiz question for the audience. How many of you heard of OutSystems before yesterday? So our guess was correct.
Correct.
Right? All right. He's going to talk about, Krishnan's going to talk about OutSystems and how it helps your product journey.
Sure. Everyone able to hear me, right? Hey, I'm Krishna and I represent OutSystems. OutSystems is actually a high-performance, low-code company which is going to help you accelerate your product development, right? So OutSystems is a 20-year-old company founded in Portugal, headquartered in US at this point in time. And we are present in about 88 countries with over 2,000 customers across the globe. And more than those metrics, one thing which we are very proud of achieving in the last 20 years is the amount of community members that we have, the amount of developers that have adopted this platform, right? So there are about 6.5 lakh active developers on the platform at this point in time, which I think for a low-code company, which is, it is going to be an important metric to acquire and grow.
Awesome, thank you. Let's start, so now you get the context of somebody who's been in the product business for 20 years, somebody who's doing a services and product mix, and somebody's going to help you, accelerate your product journey. So Satish, we'll start with you in terms of your journey very quickly, right? People may have heard of Suntec, but just 15 years, what is your product journey, and more importantly, where do you think this journey is headed, at least from your perspective?
Okay, that's a very good question in terms of where we are headed. So we started way back in 90, providing billing solutions to the national telecom operator in India. At that time, it was Department of Telecommunications, now BSNL. And when our founder designed the product at that time, he envisaged it as a product which should be part of every value exchange that is happening in the world. Value exchange because the product was for identifying transactions and charging those transactions based on the usage. And a transaction always happens when value is exchanged between two parties or more than two parties. And value exchange results in value share also. It could be a revenue share, it could be a fee, it could be a charge, it could be taxation to the government agencies. So it would result in value share. So the product was designed with that vision in mind 30 years back. That has actually helped us in expanding into other industries. In the year 2000, we started our journey in the BFSI segment with a bank in the Europe, a large bank in the Europe. Ours is an enterprise software. So we started that journey in the banking sector in 2000, and it has been a very exciting journey, I would say, because we added more and more global banks into our portfolio of customers. And today we have presence in almost all geographies across the world. And market leaders in various geographies are our customers using our product. Within banking itself, we started with corporate banking because the market need at that time was for corporate banking. Then in 2008, we saw a need in the retail banking space. We started in the retail banking space. Same product, different way of using the product. And today, we are seeing the product being used for different purposes within the banking industry across different lines of business in different geographies. And we are always seeing the same patterns of requirements or business needs or solutions coming across these different geographies. And we are actually using the product to serve those needs. We are building the capabilities in the product. Our roadmap actually is built based on the trends we see in the market, and we actually develop the product to meet the emerging needs of the market. In short, we always try to stay ahead of the market. That is oft repeated, but that's exactly what we try to do, both technically and functionally. And in 2016, when GST was introduced in India, we were able to actually build a solution for banks to actually compute and do the compliance, meet the compliance requirements of GST. And later, we actually used the same solution or the product for the VAT requirements in GCC. So I'm explaining this because that's the journey we had, using the product, expanding the product to meet different requirements in the same sectors, related sectors. And what helped us in this journey was the clear focus on productizing our experience and knowledge gained by implementing these solutions for various enterprises across the world. And we also made sure that we productized the good practices from different geographies and different industries into our product, which actually made it easier for us to enter into a new geography or enter into a new solution space using our product. And the way we are moving ahead, of course, the trend we see in the market and what we are trying to meet and stay ahead is the need for building ecosystems using complementary products. So we have a product, we work in a specific space, and we have experience and knowledge in that space. There are products which actually complement our product in orchestrating an experience to a consumer in whatever they do. It could be buying a house, it could be buying a vehicle, it could be doing banking with a particular bank. Whatever activities or actions a consumer do, there will be need to orchestrate the entire experience end-to-end, which no one product can meet. But there will be different products specializing in each of those areas, which can meet the experience or provide that experience end-to-end. So all the products today are trying to make sure that they are friendly in the ecosystem, they can integrate with other systems, and they are ready to build that ecosystem. Technically, we can talk about API culture, service-oriented architecture, and things like that. But it's all about being ready for that ecosystem.
I think Satish brings up a great point. We were chatting earlier. I remember doing a demo about five years ago where we were demoing conversational AI. But the query we had done was, I'd like to buy a Ferrari, right? I'm talking to my banking system. I'd like to buy a Ferrari. What will it cost me? So that query goes to my bank. The bank knows how much money I have. The bank knows what my sort of recurring income is. The bank generates, or the tool generates a query to find out the price of a Ferrari. The tool generates a query to, of course, know what the interest rate is. The tool also knows what my debt is, right, or monthly debt is. And then, like in about a second, it gives me a response that I can afford a Ferrari maybe 5 to 7 years from now, or if I want to buy it now, I'll have to pay a monthly EMI of some ridiculously high amount of conversation. I think I'm just correlating what Satish just mentioned, that the experience to the consumer today is going to require multiple constituents of the ecosystem coming together, probably unknown to the consumer, right, in the back end, relatively seamlessly. And I think the conversation we were having is that the message to the product developers, designers, thinkers is that please ensure as you're building out, think of the connections you're going to make upstream, downstream, side stream, in whether it's insurance or claims or consumer buying. It's a pretty significant change you've done even in your product journey to ensure that you're sort of working with the multiple layers. And to your point about API, it's not just opening up APIs, it's having that sensitivity that the consumer will need to access these different things. And I mean, I hate it when you click on something and somebody says, well, I'm going to take you out of my portal and take you to somebody else's portal. So do I have you? Like, just give me an answer. Don't ask me, questions. Just get me an answer of what I want, right? So I think that's a phenomenal guidance, at least in terms of building products which are sort of complementary, right? Let me talk to Krishnan from a Tavant perspective. Now, you've had the benefit from your services business to talk to a lot of customers, right? And not many companies, I think you mentioned about 25%, not many companies have been able to, within a services business, do a quarter of your business from products. So talk to us about that. How did that happen? And more importantly, how are the customers continuing to shape your product journey?
So I'll just take 2 lines to talk about the products we have. Like I said, right, since we were a services company and we're working in multiple verticals. So we have 2 products which are very distinct. So one is called the warranty and service lifecycle management, and that is fully focused on manufacturing, large manufacturing companies who make this multi-million-dollar worth of equipment and the warranty management of that. And the second one is targeted towards the lending industry. We call it the VLOCs and touchless lending. Now, both these products, right, have their genesis in the projects we were executing. So as a service solutions company, we were actually working with multiple customers and working on projects for them in these areas. And what we realized over a period of time is there is a lot of commonality, as Satish was mentioning, there's a lot of commonality in these domains, right? So what the warranty was the first area where we built a product. Actually, early 2000s, we built a product in warranty on using the Java stack. And over a period of time, as technology evolved, in 2012-13, we actually moved that entire product. We rebuilt that product on the force.com platform. The primary reason behind that was the manufacturing companies were adopting Salesforce platform to a very large extent. And we saw this opportunity that if a product is built on the Salesforce ecosystem, what again Satish was mentioning, right? It's the ecosystem, right? So people who adopt Salesforce, if they find a warranty platform built on top of Salesforce, it becomes so much easier for them to adopt it and integrate within their entire ecosystem. So that is how we built this Tavant warranty platform, and we call it the service lifecycle management tool or platform on the force.com platform. Now again, like you said, the input actually came from our customers who were using it. As we were building custom solutions, we realized that there's a large part of it is very common, right? And instead of building it every time and taking multiple months and charging them a lot of money, it's much easier to build a platform where people are able to go into production very, very quickly. So today with our product, anywhere within 0 to 90 days, a customer can actually start their entire business. If they want it out of the box, it provides everything. And there's some advantage in the service lifecycle management product, right? It is not a regulated industry. Right? So it becomes slightly easier in the sense what we build for one country is actually applicable everywhere. So today we have customers in US, in India, in Asia, Europe, multiple places. Right? I mean, I feel very proud to say that if there is any warranty deal happening anywhere in the company, right, we are always shortlisted among the top 3. Nice. And then, of course, who wins it becomes, that's for further this one, right? So that's on the our side, the service lifecycle management side. On the lending side, our product is built primarily for the US. Now, we can use it in other countries, but there are a lot of regulatory things which govern a lending industry, and hence we will have to take care of those. Again, the lending tool we have built on, that was built much later, so we obviously had the advantage of the learnings from our earlier product, right? So we built it right from the beginning on cloud. We used the AWS cloud, so it's a cloud-native solution. Every technical component, we primarily use what the cloud provides. So we focus primarily on the functional area. Awesome. I mean, like Krishna was saying, right, there is so much available there. You don't have to build everything, right? So use whatever is available, but focus on the functional area, which is our expertise. So what we have done in the lending space is we have built this product, which we call VLOX and touchless lending. What it does is it starts right from the beginning or the inception of a lending cycle, right, which is lead generation. It then has portals which can be used by customers and brokers to apply for their loan. Post that, the loan officers, right, they have a portal where they can process this entire loan. When you apply for a loan in US, there are multiple services which actually need to be invoked, and these are all provided by third-party systems. So we built a layer which is called FinConnect. What it does, it's on the cloud, it's a multi-tenanted SaaS model. What it does is, it connects with almost 150 plus specialized vendors. So anybody who buys our product immediately gets an integration with these vendors. So that provides a plethora of services, like collateral, asset verification, title verification, document management, fraud analysis. So it provides all these services. And then, so what it does is it becomes much easier for a person to process the loan and close it. So with the implementation of these products, and then it of course goes to the underwriting, which is where our touchless lending product comes into play. What that does is automates the underwriting experience to a large extent. See, underwriters are very valuable commodities, right? They're experts, actually. There are not a whole lot of underwriters, and their time is very, very valuable. So what this does is almost 80-85% of the loan, it actually automatically underwrites. Awesome. Right? And only the remaining 15-20% where it finds certain deviations, that goes to the experts to resolve it. So using these two, we've been able to increase the whole, reduce the time by almost 30-40%, reduce the cost of loan processing by anywhere between 40 to 70%. So, and this is helping our customers enormously.
I think this is great examples. I think this morning Anand mentioned that how we can become the process capital of the world, right? I mean, the amount of intelligence and knowledge and understanding that several of our companies have of the global processes. And I think the other thing I took away is this whole mindset of not necessarily going and rebuilding everything for the customer, right? I mean, for which you're going to get paid time and money, but still you're choosing more and more to platformize things so that A, it's a lower cost to the customer, but more importantly, much faster development time, much faster turnaround time. So, awesome examples.
So just one more point I wanted to add.
Yeah, sorry.
See, on the service lifecycle management product which I was talking about, right? See, warranty is actually a cost center.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a revenue generator. So it's
Always.
very important for the manufacturing companies. There are two very important items for them. One is their claims processing, right? How quickly they can process the claims and how much they can reduce their warranty cost. The second is how much warranty reserve they need for the subsequent years, right? So what our product helps them in do, again, a very high degree of automation. So bulk of the claims can get processed automatically.
Yep.
And this has enabled companies reduce their warranty cost, the time to processing, et cetera, by anywhere between 30 to 50%.
Awesome, right? Everything, he's mentioning is all value to the customer, right? And then platformizing it, right? So I'm going to have to move Krishna. So
Sure.
limited people have heard about you in the audience, as was evident earlier. Talk to us about how you're going to accelerate the product journey for folks.
Absolutely. I'm going to take analogy, right? So all of us have seen the kids play with Lego blocks. So Lego Technica is one of the famous line where they are giving you blocks to build one specific product, right? Think of OutSystems as a technical block, not functional blocks that are going to help you develop any kind of products. We are present across 22 plus industries where you'd be able to kind of build any complex products with these built-in blocks that are being available to you. Right, so the only difference between a Lego and OutSystems would be that OutSystems will give you the blocks to begin with, and then you would also be able to build your own blocks and bring it into the platform so that you would be able to build any kind of use cases that you want on top of this, right? How does it accelerate the product development time is that if you are a developer and you are coding away for 8 hours, 9 hours in a day, OutSystems is going to let you visually drag and drop these components and orchestrate your application, whereas the code generation is going to be automated at the back end on a standard technology. So you are only spending time in writing your business function, not checking your application syntax or the technology syntax, right? So one customer example, what I wanted to give for the time perspective, right? How fast can you do that? Is that a couple of years back, we all know why, suddenly one of our customers in UK got a huge number of requests for home broadband installation. There were there'd been a scare in terms of, what is going to happen. There was, information was less, right? So immediately the customer, what he did was, he had a handheld for installation, checking the installation as well as going door to door and, performing surveys, installations, products, so on and so forth, right? So there was a temperature sensor. They enabled the temperature sensor. They dragged and dropped the temperature data block from OutSystems platform. They were very quickly able to understand how many of their field services agents who are going door to door installing are actually well temperature controlled, right? So they were able to immediately give that assurance to the customer.
So this didn't require some complex requirements process, get a team of 20 people, figure
Nothing.
out QA, all that stuff.
Exactly. It actually happened in 3 days. Under 3 days, they were able to do that and display that in the handheld the customer had, saying that this guy is temperature checked and his temperature is around below 100. You can safely interact with him. So it took very few days. Right? So that is one example I wanted to give. And second example for again going back to that Lego was that one of the famous winery based out of Portugal. Right? So they had it's a family-owned business for about 100 years now, and they wanted to go digital. Everybody wants to go digital. They wanted to go digital, and they couldn't find a software in the market that will help them go digital, right? So with the limited IT experience that they have, expertise they have, they were able to build a complete process automation solution using OutSystems within 3 months, which basically connected right from their grape storage area. They connected their IoT sensors. The platform takes care of everything, right? So they connected right from IoT sensor right to the bottling plant. They were able to monitor and automate the complete process using OutSystems within 3 months. Those are the two examples I wanted to
Awesome.
give.
I think this is again critical, right? We've been talking all morning about digital, India leads digital, the world going digital, and especially the last 2-3 years has accelerated every CEO, every business leader across the globe saying, how do I have some component of my business digital, if not 100% of my business digital, right? At least, or customers being able to reach out to me and being able to, I think PK this morning was talking about how even 10 years ago, he was able to order a car and the car sort of got delivered.
Exactly.
So very quickly, and I'm going to come around and we'll try to close with one message. We have a bunch of founders and we have a bunch of technical folks, right? So I'd love to get one message for founders and developers from each of you. But before I move to that, Krishna, should I stop writing code in C, or should we tell the audience, forget C, forget C++, forget everything, just go low code, no code, we're going to have citizen developers across the globe? Is that the message you're giving?
Absolutely, right? That also kind of, goes into my message for the developer, if I can go first.
Sure, go for it.
Right, so we spend so much time in basically writing the technology, right? We spend less than 30% in writing the business function. So that is exactly where a low code can add a lot of value. You are only spending time on writing the business function, whereas the platform is going to take care of generating the code, right? So my message for developers is adopt low code more, be 5x or 6x more productive on your application building journey.
And I'm assuming the business to founders is?
Build it fast, build it right, and build it for the future.
All right,
is what I wanted to tell to the founders.
Awesome, great. Satish?
Yep.
Message to founders, message to developers.
I wouldn't call it as message. I would just share my insights.
Sure.
So one is actually every product is to address a problem, a solution to a problem. When you actually try to build that solution to the problem, don't think through the problem, but think around the problem. Awesome. One example is, if you actually look at Uber, you can see it as a car renting app or car hiring app. Or you can also see it as a mobility solution. If you see it as a mobility solution, it could be for human beings, it could be for food, it could be for any different kind of articles that could be transported from one place to the other. So that is thinking around the problem. And the second point is, you said one message, I'll take the time to do two.
We're running into coffee time, so you want to be careful.
When you actually build a product, always continuously review and refactor the product, because all of us, when we develop products, have the tendency to duplicate capabilities in multiple places in the product, which can actually bring down the product. Also, at the same time, we need to make sure that when we converge functionality, beyond that point, you need to actually learn to componentize those functionalities so that each functionality exists on its own. It is not actually having overlaps with other functionality.
Awesome.
Two insights from my experience.
Very nice, very cool. Thank you, Satish. Krishnan?
For the developer community, right? So there is a considerable explosion on the technology side we are seeing, right? I mean, the cloud, then the data, AI, and now low code, right? So let's say earlier you used to have this business experts and then the technology experts. I believe the line is blurring very, very fast. So for developers, my request would be, along with technology, focus a lot on the domain, because your technology is just an enabler, right? Your solution all comes from the domain. So, bring that, combine the two knowledge, that would make you very, very productive and very powerful. And the second thing for organizations, right? Product development needs agile, nimble teams. It needs teams which can innovate quickly, take decisions quickly, and they would fail, right? Many of the things would not work, but they should be allowed to fail without any fear of consequences. So that environment, that culture, right, and having that structure within the organization is very, very important to build a successful product.
Awesome, thank you. There you have it, folks. I mean, we've got a wealth of experience from product builders, technologies, so let's thank the panel. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
I'd like to thank the panel members. I'd like to request Narendra to please present a small token of appreciation to Krishna, Satish, and Krishnan. Thank you, gentlemen, once again for that invigorating conversation. And thank you, Narendra, for moderating that session.